Hello there. Hi guys, Miss Ashley again. You got me doing some reading. I know I haven't seen you in a while and I've missed you. I haven't been doing my videos. So I thought I'd come back and do some more fun activities and stories for you. I have some good news and bad news. The bad news is this is probably going to be my last video. But you never know. Maybe during the holidays I might pop up and do another one for you. But it's probably going to be my last one for a while because the good news is I've got a job working at a library. I am a children's librarian at a public library nearby. So now I get to do all these fun activities for children here in my area of Tennessee. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Have you ever been to your local public library? You have? Oh, good. Well, if you haven't, I think you should go and check it out because there's all kinds of cool things that you can get and see and do at the library. And usually all you need to do any of those things is a library card. So go to your local library if you haven't already and grab yourself a library card. Sometimes they even give you a little mini one that you can put on a keychain. So let's talk about libraries. Do you guys like to read? All right. What's your favorite books? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Those are some good ones. Some of my favorites are, of course, the Harry Potter books. But I love anything by Robert Munsch, especially I Love You Forever. I love Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. And what else? Ooh, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Those are some of my favorites. And you might have some at your house, but if you've ever gone to maybe Walmart or Target or a store and seen some books that you really liked and your mom said, nah, we can't buy that today, you could go to your library and check it out. And they have all kinds of things that you don't have to pay for. You just borrow them and then bring them back. And it's a great way to read lots of different stories. So we're going to read a story today called Lola at the Library. And she loves to go and check out books, and she's going to tell you about her experience going to the library. So this book is written by Anna McQueen and Rosalind Birdshaw. Somebody's written in this book, but that's not a very good way to take care of our library books, is it? Lola at the Library. Lola loves Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, Lola and her mommy go to the library. Lola's ready. Mommy is still in bed. The library opens at 9 o'clock, but Lola is ready to go long before that. She puts all of the books she borrowed last week in her backpack. Her library card is also very important. That's what she'll need to check out some books. The library is not very far away, so Lola and her mommy always walk there. That's lucky. A lot of times we have to drive to our libraries, don't we? Lola and her mommy give back the books from last week, and the librarian buzzes them through the machine. That's what I do at my library. And then it shows up on my computer to tell me which ones are still out and being borrowed and which ones we have, and then I can help find some books for you. There's a special section in the library just for children. That's where I work. It is really cool and nobody ever says shh. Sometimes there's singing. Lola knows all the words and the hand motions for Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Sometimes there's story time. Lola loves that. We have story time at my library too. I do that every Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And we read stories and do arts and crafts and play games, kind of like what I do for you guys on here. After story time, Lola chooses her books. In the library, she can have any book she wants. Lola likes stories with bears and anything with shoes. There are so many, it takes ages to choose. There are lots of books about everything that you'd want to read about. Mommy has some books too. The librarian buzzes them through the machine and then stamps the date on the inside. Some libraries don't do that anymore. At our library, we'll print off a receipt and it'll tell you when to remember to bring the books back so you can switch them out for some new books. Lola must bring them back in 2 weeks, but she will probably be back for more long before then. I bet she'll be back next week. Lola and her mommy always get a snack after visiting the library. Mommy has a cappuccino and Lola has some juice. Whenever Lola has been good, her mommy lets her taste the foam. What a fun day with mommy. Library and a treat. Then it's time to go home again. Every night after Lola is tucked into bed, her mommy reads her a story. It is the best way to end her day. All right, now she's got some bedtime stories. The end. That was a really good one, and I borrowed that from my library that I work at. So libraries don't just have books, they have lots of things. And with your library card, sometimes you can get books on your iPads or your phones, electronic books, audiobooks. We even have something called a playaway that has a little screen or a little recorder that you can listen to books. We have Wonder Books where you can look at the book but it'll read it to you. We have DVDs that you can rent. You can come and color or play. We have puppets. We have puzzles. We have games and toys. We even have programs where we do things like Lego, or we have story time or movies. There's so much to do at a library. So I think you guys should check out and see what's going on at your libraries. Maybe they have arts and crafts, or you can come and sing songs and do all kinds of different activities. And we have lots of different things going on at the library, but we also have lots of different kinds of books that you can check out. You can read about dragons and volcanoes, or history, or different countries, or animals, or people, or all things you can imagine. And this next book I found is called L is for the library, and it uses the whole alphabet to talk about all the different kinds or types of books and things you can find at a library, and you can borrow them and read them. So let's find out what kind of things you could find at a library. L is for library. This one is written by Sonia Terry and it's illustrated by Nicole Wong. I've never seen a cat at my library. They're usually not allowed. L is for library. There we go. A is for author, painting pictures out of words. She says, this story really needs a strong cat character. So the author is who writes the book. B is for biography, where true tales of individuals are heard. So biographies are stories of real people in their life. C is for the Caldecott, awarded for art that pleases the eyes. Awards for the pictures in the books. D is for the Dewey Decimal System, which helps us organize. That helps me figure out where to put the books back on the shelf and helps me find them when you guys need them. E is for encyclopedia, containing volumes of information. If you don't know what something is, we can look it up in the encyclopedia. F is for fiction books, written from the author's imagination. So that's not about real things, it's about stories that people make up. G is for guide words that help us find our way. See at the top of the page, if you're looking at maybe a dictionary or encyclopedia, it'll tell you what's at the front of the page and at the end of the page, so you can figure out where to look. H is for historical fiction, great stories about an earlier day, so you can find stories about a different time in history. I is for the illustrator who uses pictures to present. Lots of illustrators make great books and they help put the pictures in the book so you know what they're talking about. J is for the jacket, protecting books from accidents. So sometimes we have hardcover books to protect, but sometimes they'll have kind of like a protective cover because lots of people use it and they want to protect the books for other people. Ooh, this one says, someone must have let a clumsy dog in here. Oh, there's books everywhere. We need to take care of our library, right? And take care of our books. K is for keyword search. That helps us navigate. So if you're looking for a book, I can just type it into my computer and I can find what we have. L is for the library, full of books that are really great. Wow, look at the size of that library. It's huge. M is for the magazines. They arrive each month or week. So then you can see different ones that come and they'll have different new information. N is for nonfiction books filled with information that you seek. That's the section where you can find information about real things. Lots of people come in and find out things about space or volcanoes, or you can find arts and crafts books or magic books. There's all kinds of cool books in there. O is for overdue, when you keep your books too long. Uh-oh, you don't want to miss the date. Sometimes you can go into the library and tell them that you want to renew it if you want to keep it a little bit longer, but you don't want them to be overdue because you have to take it back so someone else can use it and then you can get some new books. P is for the parts of a book. The cover, there's the cover. The spine, this is this part, are strong, so it helps it last a long time. Q is for quiet, the best volume for a library voice. But sometimes when you're in the kids' room, you can be a little bit louder. But you don't want to disturb the other people that are trying to read. R is for the reference books, a fact-seeking student's best choice. So maybe if you're working on something for school or a project or a paper, you can come in and find out some information from the books in the library to use for your schoolwork. S is for shelf markers that help you mark your spot. Sometimes libraries will have shelf markers so you can find the books about animals or sports or people. T is for thesaurus, which tells you warm is another word for hot. So that has different words, so you don't have to use the same one over and over again. It'll help you find new words that mean the same thing. U is for URL, a specific web address. And there's lots of things that your library probably has on the internet. They have a website and they can lead you to other websites that have lots of different information. Tennessee Electronic Library has tons of information that you can use on the internet before you even go to the library. V is for volunteers, a big part of every library's success. They help get all the things done at the library. W is for the World Wide Web, full of electronic information. We even have computers in our library. If you come to my library, we have fun computer games, and then moms and dads and sisters and brothers can get on the other computers and do schoolwork or find information on the internet. X is for Xerox machine, used for document duplication. A lot of people come into the library because they need to make copies of something. Y is for your interests that change and grow each day. So when you want to find out more about something or you want to read a lot about something that you love, you can come to the library. Z is for catching Z's. There's nothing more to say. Oh, the cat fell asleep in the library. Hope to see you in the library soon. Wow, look at all the different things they're doing. They're on the computers, they're doing some art, they're looking for books and finding out information. Found a comfy chair. There's so much to do at the library. The end. So when we're talking about going to the library and all the things to do, I thought I would let you guys do a project today too. So why don't we make our own books, and maybe one day your book will be in the library. It's very easy to do. All you need is a piece of construction paper and then some white paper. This was just some printer paper that I had. So all you're gonna do is fold them in half, just like this, like a book. And then you're gonna fold your white paper, and then you're gonna put them inside of each other. And then you're gonna put that inside of the construction paper. So see, they all fit inside. And then I'm just gonna take a stapler, and you can do 2 or you can do 3 staples. I guess I'll do 3 for this one. And I didn't have any, but if you have some cool duct tape or something, or some kind of tape, you could put it on the spine to make it look really cool, and then it can go on the front, and it would actually cover up your staples too. So this is going to be the cover of the book, and that's where you put your title or the name of your book. And then don't forget to write who the author is. And if you're the one that writes the book, it's going to be you. So it's going to say by, and then you write your name. And you could even put illustrated by, and then write your name if you're going to be the one that does the pictures. Or maybe you can work with a friend, and you can have your name as the author, and then your friend's name as the illustrator. So then when you open it up, you can have your title page, and then you've got lots of pages, and you can add as many pages as you want, and then you can write your story, and you can draw pictures in there, and you can make your own book. And maybe one day yours will be in a library. All right, so before I go, I have one more story for you, and it's about Franklin. I don't know if you know him. You may have seen him on TV before. He's Franklin the Turtle, and he finds a library book about something that he thinks is really cool, and it helps him do something. So let's find out what happens in Franklin's library book. There he is reading. Franklin can tie his shoes. Franklin can count by 2s. And Franklin can borrow library books all by himself. Franklin takes good care of the books he borrows. Most of the time. Now this person, somebody didn't take care of this book because somebody wrote in it. So if you're going to borrow a book from the library, we can't write in it because it's not really ours. We're just borrowing it. One day, Franklin went to the library. He found 3 new books. How to keep a super duper tidy bedroom. Franklin shook his head. How to do super duper homework. Franklin shook his head again. How to make a super duper kite. Ooh, yeah, I'll take this one, Franklin said. He looks excited. Find his book. At home, Franklin read his book. He found sticks and strings. He found cloth and ribbons. Then he hurried to the hill. On the way, he saw a bear. Bear, called Franklin. He held up his book. Want to make a kite? Sure, said Bear. Franklin and Bear made 2 super duper kites. They ran up and down the hill all afternoon. They flew loop-de-loops. They made figure 8s. They did takeoffs and landings. They didn't stop until it was time for supper. Wow. They learned how to make a kite from a book. That's awesome. The next day, Beaver phoned Franklin. I want to borrow how to make a super duper kite, she said. Have you finished it? Yes, said Franklin. I will return it to the library. Franklin hung up the phone. He went to get the book. Franklin looked everywhere. He looked under his desk. He looked in his toy box. He looked on his shelf. Franklin found his super duper kite, but he did not find how to make a super duper kite. Uh-oh, Franklin said. I'm in big trouble. Oh no, he's lost his library book. That's not good. Franklin looked everywhere, all over again. Franklin, called his mother. It's story time at the library. I'm not going, said Franklin. But you love story time, said his mother. Not today, said Franklin. Uh-oh. Now he's scared to go back to the library because he's lost his book. But soon Franklin changed his mind. He said. Maybe I can go to story time. Franklin put on a big scarf. He put on a big floppy hat. And he put on dark sunglasses. Then he went to the library. He sneaked in and sat in the back. Can you find him? He's hiding. Oh. When story time was over, Franklin got up to go. Is that you, Franklin? Miss Goose asked. No, said Franklin. You sure look like Franklin, said Mrs. Goose. It isn't me, said Franklin, and he ran out of the library. You shouldn't be scared to go back to the library. Sometimes things happen. You just have to go back and tell the librarians that you've lost the book. And sometimes they might have to charge you some money for it, but sometimes they just have to write it down that it's lost. But you really, really need to try and make sure you take care of the books as best you can and don't lose them. Franklin ran around the corner. He saw his friends. Is that you, Franklin? Asked Bear. Shh, said Franklin. Why are you dressed like that? Asked Rabbit. I'm hiding from Mrs. Goose, said Franklin. Why? Asked Fox. I lost a library book, said Franklin. Uh-oh, said Bear. You're in big trouble. Franklin ran all the way to the park. He sat down to think. What did I do with how to make a super duper kite? First, I went to the hill. Then Bear and I made kites. Then Bear and I went home. Then, Aha, said Franklin. I know where the book is. Oh, good. He thinks he's figured it out. Franklin ran all the way to the hill. He stood where he had made his kite. Oh, I left how to make a super duper kite right here. Franklin looked all around. He did not see his book, but he did see Bear and Beaver and Fox and Rabbit, and they were all making kites. Wait a minute. Franklin was very surprised. Are those super duper kites? He asked. Yes, said Bear. He held up how to make a super duper kite. Wow, shouted Franklin. Where did you find my book? I didn't find it, said Bear. I took it home with me yesterday. Oh, but Bear, cried Franklin, that's the book that I lost. Oops, said Bear. I guess I'm the one that's in trouble. Yes, you are, said Franklin, but reached for the book. But now, I'm not. All right, so now he solved the mystery and he can take his library book back. And that's the end. And now, when I go back to my library, I can return these books and I can get some new ones. So I hope you enjoyed that. And I want to say kind of goodbye to everybody, but don't forget, if you need to look at any of my videos, you can find them on Facebook or my YouTube channel, and there's probably over 100 of them. There's science experiments, there's arts and crafts, there's information about children around the world, and there's stories and songs and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you need me, you can come and find me at my library. Let me know if you need to figure out where I work, and hopefully you can go and find some information and some books and fun at your library. I'll miss you, but I've enjoyed spending some time with you and helping you guys learn and maybe not be so bored all the way back in the spring of 2020 when I started this. So that's it for me. Bye, everybody.